You never seen this before. It's on Kenneth Copeland's TV network. It's called the Victory Channel. It's like Channel 63 or something. I don't remember. Anyway, it's absolutely nuts. The things that they say on this show are unglued from reality. They're Donald Trump supporters to the death. They'll do anything for the dude. Well, Joe Biden dropped out of the election, and they wanted to talk about it. So I want to see what they had to say. Bound to be fascinating. And while we listen, we're going to play some Final Fantasy VII Remake. Should just be in the background. Won't bother you too much. You never played before. All right, let's listen.
Much to talk about already, but then there was a lot more that happened. In fact, let's go to Mike Garofalo and get the latest. Mike, tell.
I prefer Garofalo. I like that pronunciation. I like that pronunciation better. Garofalo. This is their quote-unquote newscaster that they have on to talk about newsworthy things. And I think he's a host on another channel too, or not another channel. He's a host on another show on this channel. Dude is completely full of it.
Gene, according to reports, Joe Biden spent a frustrating Saturday night this past weekend with advisors and the First Lady at their home in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware.
According to reports, look, I get news stations saying this sometimes, I guess, but this is called weasel words, and they really shouldn't be using it. But this isn't a news channel. This is a political commentary channel. They absolutely should not be using this. And literally, whatever they say after they say news reports say should be distrusted. You shouldn't believe a word out of their mouths past that. Seriously. What they're about to say might be true, but it might not. And they're definitely pushing an agenda. So let's listen to what these quote-unquote news reports said.
Hello, and get the latest. Mike, tell us.
Gene, according to reports, Joe Biden spent a frustrating Saturday night this past weekend with advisors and the First Lady at their home in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. An NBC News report described the president as feeling isolated, frustrated, and angry.
Yeah, I mean, he had COVID, so I would imagine he felt isolated.
One person even saying Joe Biden was really pissed off. By morning, the president had apparently come to the conclusion, with his poor poll numbers, access to new donor dollars drying up, he had no path forward.
Now, hang on a second. Biden was still getting more money than Donald Trump by far from donations. That's just completely fabricated. Biden could have moved forward with it, but he was polling a few points below Donald Trump. You know what? If these people's candidate, Donald Trump, is doing as bad or just barely above this evil, monstrous, demented freak of a person, as they describe him, they should be ashamed of that. They're like this close. I'm ashamed of the fact that Donald Trump is this close to Joe Biden. I'm ashamed of the fact that 47% of the country voted for Trump in 2020. Of course, we didn't know he was going to commit an insurrection at the time, but still, it disappoints the hell out of me that these people seem to have no shame.
In the 2024 race for the White House. At some point before 1:45 p.m. on Sunday afternoon, the president, via telephone, reportedly informed Vice President Kamala Harris, White House Chief of Staff Jeff Zients, and his campaign manager, Jen O'Malley Dillon, that he was ending his campaign. Reaction from Democrats was mixed.
I was so deeply moved by the president's powerful and poignant statement, which was truly courageous.
I was very sad, honestly. I think it was necessary.
David Axelrod is, I believe, like a right-winger now. I don't remember exactly what the deal is with him, but something weird about this guy. Owen, did you have trouble with the Odin summon? It's insane. Mixed my ass. Everyone is happy. Yeah, I did have trouble with the Odin summon, but I did get it eventually. If you're interested, I'll show you the trick. We're going to switch to FF7 Rebirth for just a second because I want to play Odin. But yeah, let's keep listening.
It's important. It's an incredibly important decision and difficult decision that he made for the country.
Joe Biden's body may not be as strong as it used to be. His language skills may not be as sharp as they used to be. His heart is as big as ever.
Now, while many leading Democrats like Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi have chosen to throw their support behind Vice President Kamala Harris for the Democratic presidential nomination, former President Barack Obama has not. Here is part of a statement from the nation's 44th president saying, "I have extraordinary confidence that the leaders of our party will be able to create a process from which an outstanding nominee emerges." Gene, that is a pretty powerful non-endorsement from perhaps the most influential Democrat in the country, if I've ever heard one.
Right. So they're just saying that Biden and others endorsed Kamala Harris, basically, right?
You.
That's so good. Yeah.
TYT are pieces of shit. Yeah, unfortunately, I think I agree with you on that. Really sad. TYT has gone completely downhill. Completely. I am so sad to see what's happened to them. Anyway.
Yeah, Mike, it sure is. Let me bring in founder of the Western Journal, Floyd Brown.
Floyd Brown's terrible. Oh, everything about him is terrible. He's a monster, dude.
Floyd, what do you think about that? He didn't endorse her.
Well, actually, he did the opposite. He told everybody in the Democratic Party, I don't have confidence in this vice president.
No, he didn't. He basically was going to allow Biden's endorsement to stand. I'm 100% sure that he will endorse her if he feels it's necessary. When you're in politics, you say exactly as much as you need to and no more.
I don't have confidence in her ability to win this race. And so we're going to, quote, create some kind of a process,
right.
Gene.
Oh, such bullshit, dude.
This is outrageous. From the same people that have run around the country and said Donald Trump is a threat to democracy, they are canceling out the votes of all of the Democrat primary voters.
Oh, please. Look, this is a piece of propaganda created to make people feel like there's cheating. There is no cheating, okay? The guy dropped out. Presidents are allowed to drop out of races. It happens. And in that case, the runner-up takes the position. The runner-up would be the next person in line for the presidency, the vice president. I'm perfectly fine with that. Get over yourselves. Delegates chose Kamala Harris. My God, people. Really sad. It's disgusting. No, he did not do the opposite, right?
They have lied to us.
Okay, I'm sorry. One more thing here. I'm about to fight Owen. The trick is to learn his blocking timing, okay? I'm going to do on low power. Blocking is really, really hard in this game unless you're experienced with it. Soaring Spear is going to be thrown immediately. Odin has a kind of... So every time he attacks me and you see the word immune, it's like that. It's because I blocked it successfully. Odin has a gauge, a hidden gauge. God, you guys have no idea how impressive this is that I'm doing this. I'm impressed with myself right now. Odin has a hidden gauge that... Ooh, Gallahorn's warning, that's a bad thing. It's a hidden gauge that, if he gets bored with the fight, then he'll use Zen Tetsuken or whatever, that thing this, right here. It's an instant kill if he does this. He gets bored. So that Gallahorn's warning thing, that happens when the gauge is like this low, and he's about to use Zen Tetsuken. To keep the gauge high, you have to not take damage at all. Every time you take damage, it goes down. So you can make the gauge go up by dealing damage to him, but it doesn't go up very fast or very much. I wasn't doing any damage at all, but I was blocking all the attacks. All it took for him to use Zen Tetsuken was hitting my allies. He almost always uses the spear as his first attack out the gate. Anyway, that's the trick. You got to learn his timings. Spear rampage. Give it a second here. Let's see what we got. See, Gallahorn's warning. He's done too much damage to me. Helm Cleaver. Got it. I was immune to that one. Charge. The trick's to learn his blocks perfectly and just keep hitting him. Boy, I gotta tell you, the Alexander and Odin simultaneous fight, that was a wild battle. Learn to block and put the precision block materia on. That's how you do this fight. Spear, right? Yep. Precision block materia makes it a lot easier to block. Boom, see? Immune. Charge. Charge is kind of difficult too. You should probably just run out of the way for that one. He's probably getting bored of me now because he's hit me too many times. Charge, I'm just going to get out of the way. And now I'm going to use my abilities. Oh yeah, I can't use my abilities if I have these little cuffs on. You see these little cuffs? These little, what do you call them? Little red cuffs or whatever? You can't use abilities usually if you have these cuffs on because he'll use respite. Let me show you. See if I can. Yeah, see? Reprisal. I'm sorry, reprisal. If I use something, he instantly knocks me back if I have the cuffs on. And he puts the cuffs on when he hits you with certain attacks. So, anyway, that's how you beat Odin. Really, really difficult fight, for sure. Is there a way to change the allies' attack modes? Not sure what you mean. No. I don't think so. You can just battle with, like, one person if you wanted, and you can beat Odin. I mean, Odin is not... The trick to beating Odin is not in how many people you have hitting him. It's in how little damage your party is taking total. But your party's really good at blocking, so if you put precision block materia on them too, then it should be a lot easier. Should be the spear. Yep. Timing for the spear can be difficult. But look, I don't have cuffs on, so I can use an ability. You just keep hitting him. Spear Rampage can be tough if you don't time it right. You should probably just be getting out of the way for Spear Rampage. Helm Cleaver is the thing that gives you the cuffs every single time, and that sucks. You don't want the cuffs if you can avoid them. And sometimes people switch to a different character if they get cuffs. Out of the way. Because it was charge. Helm Cleaver, cuffs again, but I already had him, so whatever. Galahorn's warning, he's getting bored of me. Can't take more damage, like I just did. Charge out of the way. Zen Tetsuken, yep, there he goes. So I guess I bored him to death. Anyway, yeah, that's the trick. Zinkacat, my grandpa was super adamant on 100% video games. Seeing how complex Final Fantasy's has become, would have driven him mad if he was still here to play. Yeah, well, the trick to a good video game is make it easy to play, difficult to master. Mario Odyssey, it's easy to play. You just run through and you do whatever. But getting really good with the cap is a challenge. Okay, spear first, probably. Yep. Although I timed that poorly. If it doesn't say immune, then it means that he's getting bored of me. There, immune. I'm good. Charge, out of the way. Out of the way. And you want to get on a specific side of him because he's going to swing his spear when he charges. And by the way, I blocked that Helm Cleaver, but I still have cuffs on. See, Helm Cleaver just is not good. I mean, I don't really care that much personally because I don't use the abilities or I don't rely on them to win. But, yeah, see, immune, spear rampage, shit. You got to move out of the way for that one. And now he's bored of me again. I don't know, hell, maybe I'll just play this one. It's kind of a fun one. Another trick to this dude is to poison him. Poisoning him raises that gauge, so he's less bored of you. And it hurts him consistently. That's really cool. So, yeah. I've made, like, if I make it beyond a minute with Odin, then I'm probably going to win. I've won against him 2 or 3 times in the past, like, week. He is hard, but, see, Spear Rampage. He used that instead because I was close. You just get out of the way.
to, quote, create some kind of a process,
Right.
Gene. This is outrageous. From the same people that have run around the country and said Donald Trump is a threat to democracy, they are canceling out the votes of all of the Democrat primary votes.
God, he is so full of shit. This guy is so full of shit. I cannot stand the nonsense that this guy lays down. He's just upset that the Democratic Party made a good decision by switching candidates, by one of them dropping out. Like, get over yourself, man.
Voters, they
You know, practically nobody voted in the primary anyway, all right?
said Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. They are canceling out the votes of all of the Democrat primary voters.
God.
They have lied to us repeatedly. They
Who lied? About what? What are you talking about?
hid his medical issues through the whole primary process. And now the leaders on high, the super delegates, the insiders are going to pick the next Democrat nominee. And I don't think it's going to be Kamala Harris. It's going to be whoever Barack Obama wants it to be.
Oh, yeah, because Barack Obama is running everything, right? Totally, absolutely.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any crazier. All right, so let's break this down a little bit. Of course, we did not see Joe Biden. We haven't really heard from him. Supposedly there was a radio interview that he did.
Supposedly there's a radio interview? No, he did a phone call where he sounded just fine. And these people are like turning it into like some conspiracy, like it wasn't really him or something. Bro, please. When are these conspiracies going to end? Dude, I'm sucking right now. I'm just not paying attention to Odin. That's my problem. Damn it. He's hitting me over and over. This is terrible. Out of the way. Let's charge. You got to get his pressure gauge up too. And you can do that really well with focused thrust. That gets his pressure gauge up really fast. But I'm kind of screwing the pooch on this one. Yeah, pressure gauge is... Oh, God, it's so close. So close. Lord of the Blade. I got him into the next phase of the fight. But there you go. He's staggered now. I can use cross slash, and I can use synergy abilities. It's going to take his health down a lot. Maelstrom Strike. Do a whole bunch of shit. Yep, there we are. There, and just like that, his health is down to like a third. And he's in phase 3, Lord of the Battlefield. So, he's unlikely to use Zen Tetsuken now. Spatial distortion is where he splits the battlefield and sometimes separates your players. But again, doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if you have, like, all of your players in the area. You really only need one, unless that happens. And now I'm separated from everybody. Wow, that sucks. That really sucks. Damn. Okay, well, I guess I'm just going to chill and let Cloud die then.
We haven't heard any of that. But listen to what happened just a little bit before his announcement on Sunday morning.
Congressman, we heard, as you know, before you, from two allies of Joe Biden who have now changed their position. And we now look at the tally of roughly 40 lawmakers who have called for Joe Biden to step aside.
Look, he just did Gallahorn's warning. That means that he's getting bored of me again. I gotta switch back to Cloud. Shimmering Blade. I'd never learned the blocking timing for the other. Oh, see Zen Tetsuken, he did it. Yep, shit. Well, I better use re-raise real fast if I can on myself. Will I be able to make it? He's gonna slash me. Am I gonna be able to make it? Let's see.
Clearly, leadership is setting up a permission structure for lawmakers to come out and say these things. Has Joe Biden lost control of the Democratic Party?
Has Joe Biden lost control? I'm not sure what that means. No, he just passed control to Kamala Harris.
No, he's not. And he's heard those concerns. And I want to be crystal clear. He's made a decision. And that decision is to accept the nomination and run for re-election, win re-election. And I think that there are those out there.
There you go. That's how you beat Odin, if you were curious. You just got to pound away and perfect those block timings right there. That's the third time I beat him. And keep hammering away. Just keep trying. Just keep hitting re-challenge if you can't get it. Anyway, yeah, I'll play this game for a couple of minutes, I guess.
Made a decision. And that decision is to accept the nomination and run for re-election, win re-election. And I think that there are those out there that need to hear it again that he made a decision. He's going to be the candidate.
Mixed signals from Biden campaign on the day of the decision. No, there were just people who, like, he hadn't announced it yet, right? That makes sense. When he announces it, then they're going to clarify. What do you mean mixed decisions? Like, these people are so desperate to turn this into something that it's not.
Candidate. He's going to be the next president. And now it's time to focus on the threat that Donald Trump poses and what the extreme agenda is on the other side.
Except he's not. He's not going to do any of that. Now, that was his own campaign co-chair, Floyd.
Oh, please. Look, Biden hadn't made the decision, maybe. He hadn't announced the decision, certainly. Biden is the guy, okay, that makes those decisions about whether he's going to stay in. Biden does. Like, my God, people, is everything a conspiracy to them?
You would think this guy knew.
Well, this shows you.
Well, he may have known. Very possibly knew. He just wanted to sit and wait it out and let them make decisions for themselves. That's possible, nay, likely.
That the Democratic Party is about as transparent as the Communist Party of China.
Yeah.
Oh, please.
The CCP has more transparency. This is I don't know, it's almost like a criminal gang, the way that...
A criminal gang? What is like a criminal gang? Democrats? Are you serious?
They keep everybody in the dark, and then the leaders from on high choose what happens. It's almost like a coup d'etat, Gene. And
God, they're desperate to turn this into a coup and make it out like Democrats are just like Republicans and that they commit coups also. Please, give it a rest with this. Okay, Democrats did not commit a coup. They decided that they wanted to bring somebody else into the equation.
The problem is, and the real fundamental issue is, America is at risk. If he's not able to be a candidate, then he's not able to be president. And
Okay, he is able to be a candidate. He just doesn't feel that he can win against Donald Trump. But you know what? Let's assume that he's not comfortable with the whole situation and believes that he's too old. He's capable of being a candidate. He just doesn't feel he's capable of being a president for 4 more years at absolute worst. He's perfectly capable of being president for the next whatever. It is so straightforward to be a president. Seriously, all you have to do is sit there and pick from a list of decisions that are given to you by your chiefs of staff or whatever, A, B, or C. Do you want to invade a compound and kill a bunch of people? Do you want to send in a tactical strike force and maybe they'll all get killed, but you won't get any civilians? Or do you just want to wait on it? Just see what happens. One of the 3 options, A, B, or C, pick one. That's what a president does. Biden is perfectly capable of doing that, okay? I get so sick of hearing these people bullshit 24/7. It's nonstop.
Needs to resign immediately. He can't be president. He can't function as president.
He's perfectly capable of functioning as president or as anything else. This is a strategic decision because these shitheads leaned into he's incapable of even talking for so long.
If he can't function as a candidate.
All right, so Floyd, why wouldn't they just go ahead and invoke the 25th Amendment right here? And why this? Is there anything to be gained by doing it this way?
Well, I think what you're seeing is, even though there's no transparency to it, the guys at the top are arguing and fighting.
There's no transparency. What are you talking about? There's no transparency? Biden just came out and said, I'm not running anymore. What do you mean, no transparency?
I think Hillary Clinton would like to be involved.
Oh, no.
As maybe the vice president. She'll nominee to Kamala Harris. And
oh, please, dude. Can you just get off of Hillary Clinton? Seriously. Like, get off her. Nobody cares about Hillary Clinton anymore. Please.
And in fact, if I was Vice President Harris, the last person I'd put in as your new VP would be Hillary Clinton, because that's not good for your health.
Okay. Did somebody suggest Hillary? Did she say, yeah, I want Hillary? Why are you even bringing her up right now? Are you serious?
But The truth is that they're all fighting. They all want a piece of the action. And as I said,
What? Who's fighting? What are you talking about?
Almost 2 years ago, I predicted that Michelle Obama, in the end, would be the nominee. And what's going to happen is all of the polling shows she's the only candidate that can challenge Donald Trump.
Yeah, that's actually true. But Michelle Obama's made it very clear she doesn't want to be in politics like that. She doesn't want anything to do with it. And who can blame her? With all the obscene, horrific, up conspiracy theories that they said about her, I can't blame her for not wanting to have anything to do with politics. Like, it's truly deeply depraved, some of the shit that they said about her. Like, claiming that she's a man, like, nonstop. There's, like, a constant running conspiracy theory that Michelle Obama is a man. It's just disgusting. And for another thing, I'll give them this. A year ago or something, these people claimed that Joe Biden was going to drop out and they're going to pick somebody else. That's 100% true. And at the time, I called it a conspiracy theory. And it was a conspiracy theory at the time. You know why? We had no reason to believe that. That was completely out of thin air. And this, my friends, is what we call a self-fulfilling prophecy. These people have found an excuse to, these people have found a method of hitting Joe Biden that seemed to be effective. I think I used the wrong. Did I use the wrong? No. Okay. These guys found a way of attacking Joe Biden that seemed to be effective, and they leaned into it as hard as they could. A year ago, they were leaning into this. Joe Biden's not fit to serve. He's too old. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's wandering around. And then they fabricate videos of him just like sitting down on a chair and claim that like the video was of him like not knowing where he was or whatever. I don't even remember now. They made every piece of this happen. These guys, like on this show right here, right now, they made this happen. And now they're claiming a W because they were right that this did happen. It's like seriously disgusting how these people operate and who they are. It's just wrong.
And have a plausibility of winning. All of the rest poll very weak against Donald Trump. And so she's going to come in at the last minute and they're going to say,
it was going to be Hillary Clinton.
You know, we're going to pick her by acclamation because she's the only one that can lead us to victory. And if this group of people want one thing, it's victory. That's all they really care about is.
No fucking shit. Really? People want victory? Knock me over with the feather. Wow. Nobody else wants victory, just Democrats. That blows me away.
Power in the end, Gene.
Well, they definitely want power. I'm laughing at Rick Green.
Yeah, you see, Republicans do not want power. They are only out for the common man. They're out to help people. Totally, right?
Green's shot here. We'll go to that. But listen, right now, let me show you what President Trump and J.D. Vance had to say about all of this. It's interesting. Watch.
You'd investigate the people that hid Joe Biden's condition?
Well, I think somebody has to look at it. Look.
Oh, please, dude. Joe Biden doesn't have a condition, quote unquote.
You had people that lied to the American public. And I tell you what, you ought to take a look at his doctors because his doctors keep giving him this wonderful report. I'm not a doctor, but I saw him the other day was unable to get up the children's stairs going into Air Force One.
Is it a coup against Joe Biden?
Sort of, yeah.
I think.
Oh, give it a rest, dude. Really?
I mean, look, there's a constitutional process, the 25th Amendment. If Joe Biden can't run for president, he can't serve as president.
Okay, fine. He can run for president, though. That's not what he was dropping out of. He was dropping out of being president next time. My God, dude.
If they want to take him down because he's mentally incapable of serving, invoke the 25th Amendment. You don't get to
nobody, quote unquote, took Biden down or whatever. Jesus, dude.
Sort of do this in the most politically beneficial way for Democrats. If it's an actual problem.
I'm going to step back.
Sort of, yeah.
I think it is. I mean, look, there's a constitutional process, the 25th Amendment. If Joe Biden can't run for president, he can't serve as president. And if they want to take him down because he's mentally incapable of serving, invoke the 25th Amendment. You don't get to sort of do this in the most politically beneficial way for.
Yes, they do. This is called democracy, baby. You don't like it? Go to Russia and be part of a dictatorship. That is literally how this works. Are you f***ing kidding me right now?
Democrats. If it's an actual problem, they should take care of it in the appropriate way.
But they didn't. All right, let me bring in my other two guests for this half hour, Mark Meckler and Rick Green. Rick, it looks like you and I have a lot of Chick-fil-A sauce to get rid of because we're not eating crow.
Yes! I just wanted everybody to know that's chicken there.
Oh, my God. Again, they manufactured this situation, or not these specific people necessarily, but the Republican Party overall manufactured a situation in which Biden was going to have to withdraw because they demonized him to such a degree. You don't get to claim that you had some supernatural information a year and a half ago or some shit because you manufactured a situation. You're not like, look, no matter what, no matter how you look at this, they made a shot in the dark. Is Biden going to drop out or is he going to stay in? It was not even a 50-50 guess. It was just a guess. And they happened to get a guess, or they happened to manufacture a guess, a self-fulfilling prophecy, to make it come true. That's not counting it as a W. You were wrong back then. It was incorrect for you to claim that, like, Biden was going to drop out and you were sure of it. You weren't sure of it. You had no reason to know that. No way of knowing that. It doesn't matter to me if they think they got a W here. They didn't.
That's actual Chick-fil-A chicken, not crow, and I've been enjoying it for the last 30 minutes, and I'll
I bet.
share with Gene because neither he or I have to eat crow. So enough advertising for Chick-fil-A. Unless they're going to donate to Flashpoint, I'm moving these.
God, these people are fucking insufferable, dude.
That's right.
Out of the
Thank
way.
you.
That's it. Hey, man, we kind of knew it was going to happen at some point, obviously.
No, you didn't know it was going to happen. That's the thing. That's the problem. You claimed it was going to happen.
We both have been saying that for a while. But I think what Floyd just said is important. I think what J.D. Vance was saying in that interview is important. Obviously, if he can't run, he can't serve. I mean, that's not always true. But if the reason he's not running is cognitive decline, and everybody knows that's what it is. So, yeah, 25th.
Look, he doesn't have cognitive decline.
Amendment, I'm glad to see
I mean, he has cognitive decline to the degree that any 80-year-old might. He's still perfectly capable of functioning. Like, give it a rest.
J.D. Vance quoting the Constitution, absolutely. You know I get a smile out of that.
Right.
And we've said 25th Amendment, that's what it's there for. It's why, frankly, you had the backroom deals, kind of the word-of-mouth deals between Eisenhower and Nixon, and then same thing with Kennedy and Johnson, and then finally we got it in during Johnson's years. And it's for these very moments, and everybody knows it's making us weak. We're vulnerable. I mean,
we are not vulnerable, okay? There's a whole apparatus under Joe Biden that's operating to make sure the country is still running, first of all. Second, he's still fully capable of running things. And third, there's a vice president that can step in at any given moment just in case. The country's not less safe, okay? If they could not rouse Biden for one reason or another, they're still capable of getting with the vice president. Give it a rest, people.
I mean, all of the bad things. But just echoing what Floyd said, I think it's still popcorn time in Chicago when the convention comes in, because they're looking at this polling and they realize, they've got to rally around Kamala and at least.
I find it interesting that they're celebrating this. This does not seem like a good thing for Republicans.
See how she does because of the money issue and all of the other things. But at the end of the day, they may still have a brokered convention, and it's going to be really interesting to watch.
And this is like 1968 all over again,
yes.
And back in Chicago, where it was before. Wow. In fact, let me show you. RFK Jr. had this to say.
Dude sounds like Ben Stein. You remember that shit? Wow.
About what? This whole thing. Watch.
Bob, does today's news affect your campaign moving forward?
Well, I think.
Yeah, it makes him less likely to win, I would say.
I think everything affects my campaign. I can't tell you how, and I try not to make predictions because I try not to do spin. But I think, as any of you can see, that we're living in a very, very dynamic situation now. It's unprecedented in American history.
It is unprecedented. Yeah, absolutely. This is an absolutely crazy situation that I did not see coming. I would have put money on the fact that this would not take place, and I would be wrong. It's wild to me that this shit happened, honestly. That, like, Biden dropped out and the whole 9 yards. It's all absolutely crazy to me.
In fact, the closest thing to this You know, when I look back on American history, is the 1968 primaries where my father participated and was killed. And ironically, these, you know, the convention, the Democratic convention this year is being held once again in Chicago. And in 1968, the Democratic Party tried to fix that convention.
Oh, please. It's so sad that this guy believes that, like, the CIA killed his dad, Robert F. Kennedy Sr. He's a senator, I think. He's all in on the conspiracies. He thinks the CIA tried to kill his uncle, too, John F. Kennedy. I'm sorry, man. I just don't buy it. I just don't. I need evidence for it. I've been to, what was it? Where was he killed? Was it Dallas? I've been to Dallas, I think, is where JFK died. And I've seen, like, I went on a bus tour to see where all this shit happened. I saw the, you know, places that Oswald walked to, and I saw the chalk outlines, and I listened to them explain, like, what the witnesses said when they came across this thing or whatever. It wasn't like a CIA conspiracy. Again, I would eat my left shoe if JFK's assassination was like a CIA conspiracy, truthfully. I just think it's people's imagination run away with them. And this guy is, like, buying into it. And part of me wonders, like, is RFK Jr., like, is he running for president just to find out what happened to his dad and his uncle? Is that what this is? Is he just, like, trying to, like, get the files? I find it even more interesting that Donald Trump did not declassify the JFK files like he said he would. That's weird, right? Anyway.
With Mayor Daley basically anointing Hubert Humphrey, who was the DNC's choice, and there was chaos that erupted, and it destroyed the Democratic Party for a decade. So I think we have a lot to learn from that history. As I think Mark Twain said, that, you know, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes, and it's really rhyming right now.
Sure, yes, but I'm not sure what he thinks it's rhyming with exactly. Does he think that, like, it's rhyming with an assassination attempt or whatever?
All right, Mark Meckler, Convention of States. You heard RFK Jr. Does this help him at all?
No, I don't think it helps him. Look, I think they've made it structurally impossible for him to make any progress. The Democrats did that because...
They did that. Bro, RFK Jr. decided of his own free will that he wanted to run as an independent. Don't give me any of this nonsense he did, or he was pushed out or whatever. This is his choice.
They understood that he was going to draw from the...
Who the f*** is they, by the way?
Democrat campaigns and not from the Republicans. So I think he's a lone voice crying in the wilderness right now, and I really don't think this makes any difference for him.
All right, let me show you this. This is what the staff, I mean, this is what's crazy, gentlemen. This is when the staff, the White House staff, found out that Joe was leaving or resigning as big candidate. Watch.
Well, the staff wasn't totally blindsided, Jesse. They had a 1-minute heads up. We are told that President Biden convened a group of senior staff from the White House and the campaign.
No, I mean, he's not resigning from the presidency. He's just decided he's not going to run for re-election. Like, what? Who gives a shit? Okay. Why is it the staff's business? I don't understand. Yeah, maybe they should be informed, but it shouldn't be like something that they have like a month to consider, like 2 weeks notice or whatever. They're not losing their fucking jobs. They're just being informed that, like, in a year or something, Biden isn't going to be president. Okay. So?
And they were told at 1:45 that he was changing his mind, going to drop out. The public announcement, when we all found out, was 1:46 p.m. And just in the last few minutes, we were told that President Biden has no public events on his schedule for tomorrow. And then the rest of the week is just...
What, did they think that he was, like, dying? Or did they think he's, like, quitting being president? I don't understand the line of logic here. Like, what are they even getting at?
Blank. They are trying to figure out what exactly to do with him, but it seems like the...
What to do with him? He's the president!
Plan with announcing this is put it out the way that they did, paper statement, don't actually see or hear from the president, and then figure out a time midweek to have him come back here, or maybe they're going to do something in Wilmington, Delaware.
All right, let me go back to Floyd. All right, Floyd, as a journalist, this has been so suspicious, everything around this resignation, whether, I mean, look at this. Let me
Suspicious? Is everything, literally every single thing, a conspiracy theory to these people? Really?
Show you that. Of course, here's a copy of his letter. I'll show you the letter. If you haven't seen it, it's been all over social media. There's the letter, and you see that signature down there. That's not the signature we're used to seeing. In fact, let me show you side by.
Dude, are you kidding me? What, do they think he died and somebody's like walking him around like it's fucking Weekend at Bernie's or something? Give it a rest, people. Like, my God, is there anything knocking around up there? Anything aside from conspiracy theories? Over the past 3.5 years, we've made great progress as a nation. Today, America has the strongest economy in the world, made historic investments, blah, blah, blah. Yep, did a great job. I believe today, what I always have, there is nothing America can't do. Yeah, I hear that from him all the time. Been the greatest honor of my life to serve you as president. I mean, this is just him saying he's not going to be president, or he's not running anymore. Okay, sweet. I don't understand. Like, what's their hang up here?
Side, the auto signer signatures. The one on the left is what's usually used. The one on the right is not. Now,
oh, please, dude. It's always a conspiracy with these people. It must be with them.
Well, anyone who has dealt with a parent or someone that has entered into this long twilight knows that their handwriting changes. Right. And
oh, please, dude. Now he's got dementia. He's like leaning into the dementia thing more.
Their signature changes, and a lot of things change. And that's one of the reasons why we need transparency from this White House. You know, here we have the prime minister from Israel showing up this week, and we have 2 wars going on. We're mired in a war in Ukraine. Israel isn't getting the support and help that it.
We aren't tied up in these, or we aren't at war. What are you talking about? We have 2 wars going. No, we don't. There are other countries that are relying on our moral support, basically, and in some cases our financial support a little bit. What are you talking about? We have 2 wars going on. Like, it's a little thing, but it's these little things that get twisted around, turned into something that they're not. And wow, I just turned to stone. That sucks. I am about to die. I am super sad. I just lost. Okay, I'm quitting. Anyway, let's switch back to FF7 remake. Let me save it.
Deserves. All of these decisions are being made in a White House. It has such a power vacuum because
there's no power vacuum in the White House. He's still the president.
They have a president that's not capable to function in the job. I mean, from 10 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon when he does show up.
What are you talking about? He shows up every day. Like, what do you mean when he shows up? And he's only capable between those hours. Yeah, people said that he's at his height during those hours. But honestly, who were those people? Why should I trust a word that they say? Again, like, you can call on the president anytime you need him. Like, if some crazy thing happened with Russia or something. Anyway, yeah, tell me what you think about it in the comments. It's just absurd.